Okay, so can you say your first and
Yes,
last name and position?
Tony Ducker, Tonyducker.
Okay, and can you just tell me what are you looking for in the upcoming legislative session?
It should be an exciting session. I know they have a lot of things on their plate up there. I believe, in general, when you're talking about any resident in the state, but it also affects the municipalities, is anything that you can do to lessen the tax burden. But it goes far beyond that. It's regulatory burden, things of that nature. There's hidden taxes out there. And I think the legislature's done a really good job at looking at those things. And these things take time to get rid of some of the red tape, so to speak, that everyone has to deal with for business, for instance. So excited about the session. Obviously, with PERS, the retirement system in the state of Mississippi, we always keep an eye on that. I think there's some things that happened last session that should allow that to go forward. So hopefully it won't be much of an issue coming this session.
Okay, and can you just talk about was there anything passed or not
Yeah.
passed that would directly affect your city?
I think there was some going with the retirement system. I believe that the compromises that were made last year really gave us some firm footing, so we can make some planning, budgetarily speaking, for the next several years. I think that was really important. We pay a premium when it comes to our retirement system, so we want to make sure it's something that we can keep the promises, especially to the ones who are already retired and those that may in the next 5 to 10 years retire. You want to be able to be on firm ground, budgetarily speaking.
Oh, okay. And I guess my next question is: have any residents come to you about any things around the city that could be changed or any concerns?
One of the things that people may not see is several years ago they started allowing us to have get money from the state, which was considered a use tax. We call it the internet sales tax. A lot of folks shop from home now, so some of the monies the state started collecting wasn't getting to the municipalities because folks weren't going into the brick and mortar buildings. Uh, the city of Petal gets around $900,000 a year. It has to be earmarked and spent in a certain way. We spend it on infrastructure. So that has been a really, and it's really been a game changer when it comes to things of that nature. It allows us to handle some of our older infrastructure, which has really been a theme for the last several years. There was a program that I've talked extensively about called MCWI, and it was allowing us to match our ARPA federal funds. So we had a chance to double the amount of infrastructure work we could do, and it's really been a different conversation that we've been able to have. So I think that's forward thinking by our legislature, and it's really saying, hey, municipalities, counties, what can we do to address this problem?
Okay. And when I walked in, you said you wanted to double some type of money. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit?
Obviously, with when the internet sales tax monies first started, obviously, I would assume they would take a look at that at some point to make sure that the numbers are still making sense. Because it seems more and more people every year are shopping more and more at home, and it obviously hurts our brick and mortar. We prefer you to go in a city in a store, but it's just a fact of life right now for convenience or for availability. People shop online, so anything that the state can do to shove that money outside of Jackson and get it back to the people that are paying these taxes and allow it to make improvements in those areas is a big plus.
Okay. And just what are your thoughts on Medicaid expansion? Do you think
Yeah.
that'll be passed this year or
It seems
no?
like it's going to come back up as one of the things it seems that was left kind of in the same position after it's all said and done. It's a hot button issue up there. I know everybody wants to be an elected official, and then you get these issues like that, so it's kind of tough. And I know when they come up with something, it'll be a good deal for the state of Mississippi. They've been very forward thinking, and I've learned in politics you don't always get exactly what you want, but the biggest thing is that you get in there and start throwing these ideas around, and try to do something that'll better the state of Mississippi.
Okay. Let me see if I have any more
Well,
questions.
I will add this too. It's one of the issues that I've talked about um, quite extensively over the last few years, and I don't think Petal is unique in this. Is that we're going to suffer in the next few years, in the next 5 to 7 years, from what I would term as brain drain, and that means that there are people in their 50s maybe early 60s that are getting ready to retire, and it just doesn't make economic sense for them to stay on. So I would love for the legislature to look at something where we could retain some of our top talent, and that they could do something that would make economic sense for the employee as well. So it's a complicated issue, but it always deals with it kind of comes back to the PERS issue. So I've talked to a few folks about that, try to see if there's a way around it. It's a big gorilla in the room, so to speak. So it's a tough issue. So I would love them to look at it and find some solutions that would help out and avoid some things like that.
Okay, and we really touched on everything. Okay. Was there any progress made? Did you have any problems with infrastructure projects, or did you want to talk about anything with the local businesses, anything like that?
Yeah, we're on the back end of doing some of our state, what will ultimately be state-funded projects, the MCWI program. So we've been very fortunate. Obviously, you've got to check a lot of boxes. With the federal funds, they just cut the check to us, and there's a reporting system. With the state, it was a reimbursement system. So it was very important for municipalities and counties to make sure they had someone in charge of that's good at paperwork, because you're doing the work and then you hope to get reimbursed on the backside. But it has been really a great program, really a lot of forethought and foresight from our legislature to even come up with a program like that. Some states didn't even do that. So that's been a really great thing for us. We've got 50-year-old infrastructure. It's going to rear its ugly head at some point.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else you'd like to add
Yeah,
in the
no,
legislative session.
Good with me.
Okay.